Over the last few years, we have seen some of the best young players come out of Europe, players with potential to dominate football for the next coming years. The next big stars is what they said. But in order for a player to be a big star, it takes consistency. And Phil Foden is one of those players. From winning the PFA Young Player of the Year in 2021 to dyeing his hair in the Euro 2020s, emulating English player Paul Gasly back when the player took the Euros 1996 by storm when England hosted the tournament. But just like the 1996 team, the 2020 team didn't win nothing, and Phil Foden was one of the players that were geared to dominate the tournament, but it didn't turn out like he expected it to, because I remember when he dyed his hair blonde, he said if England wins the tournament then every player has to dye their hair also blonde, but it didn't turn out like he expected it to turn out. But still, Foden would go on to have a breakout season in 2023-2024 by scoring 19 league goals. During the season whereby Kevin De Bruyne had a season-ending injury, Phil Foden would fill in at that moment and carry the team on his shoulders. But ever since that season, he has went ice cold, scoring 7 goals on each season after the 2023 season, and that has been lackluster. Not only has that been a problem, but one of the most details that people don't recognize about Foden is that ever since that season of scoring 19 goals, he wanted to permanently play as a number 10, and that, in my opinion, is what has ruined Phil Foden's career, because he used to play as a winger when he was coming up on the right side or even on the left side sometimes, and he was quite effective. But that's the problem of this new generation of wingers, and I call it the Kylian Mbappe effect. Players who are wingers by tradition but want to play centrally in order for them to chase numbers and score more goals, and that is what is happening currently with wingers that are playing more centrally as number 9 or 10s or false 9s, and Phil Foden is a victim of wanting to do this in order for himself to gain more numbers. But the bad side of this position change has actually come hard on him, because when you are playing centrally as a number 10, you are rated off of your goals and not your assists. So him scoring 7 goals got Tuchel to drop him from this upcoming World Cup. I mean, players that are going to this World Cup, for an example, Morgan Rogers, he scored 13 goals in the league, and Eberechi Eze scored 9 goals in the league. These are goals that are more better than Phil Foden, and even Tuchel came out and said that he gets confused sometimes by Phil Foden because he's not sure what position he's supposed to be playing.
I was not even sure in the end what position his position is, and is it a 10, is it a false 9, is it maybe more a Bernardo Silva role in the future as a number 8?
And that on its own exposes why Phil Foden has been left out of the team, is because he's a winger that wants to play more centrally, and he wants to play more centrally because he's chasing numbers. In this video, I look at young players who came through promising, players who were expected to dominate football for the next 10 years. The one player who was expected to be the biggest star is none other than Jadon Sancho. I mean, even though English media sometimes blow things out of proportion, because when it comes to football, English media is the biggest media there is out there. But one thing we cannot dispute is that Jadon Sancho had real talent when he was at Dortmund. I mean, this was the same guy on the internet who was exposing PSG's Nunes. Sancho was seen as the next big thing, and every big team in England was chasing him. But right now, he cannot even start a game for Aston Villa. In fact, the team is playing a number 10 in Morgan Rogers in his position. I mean, Jadon Sancho doesn't even have an excuse, because when he was at Man United, he had access to one of the best wingers of all time. Cristiano Ronaldo was at Man United at the same time as Jadon Sancho, and Jadon Sancho could have asked him about all the secrets that kept Cristiano at the top of his game. And I'll even go an extra mile. When he was at Man United, he was getting paid like a superstar player. Superstar players get to set up gyms at home. They get to have private chefs cooking the meals. They don't need for nothing for them to enhance their performances. But in the last 5 years, Jadon Sancho has played for 4 different teams, and that is a very dismal update from a player that was seen as the next superstar for England, a player that Man United paid £80 million for. But right now, Jadon Sancho is sitting on the bench at Aston Villa. But out of all the players that were hyped up 5 years ago, the one I expected to flop has actually been the one who has been reliable. and that is Jude Bellingham, who went from a league that is considered the farmers' league and put up performances at Madrid that were worthy of winning the Ballon d'Or. He won the UEFA Champions League and La Liga double in his debut season, scoring 23 goals in all competition that included just one single penalty, and having a Randy Orton celebration that went viral. But as of recently, his stock has been going down because for someone that wears the same number as Zinedine Zidane, he has failed to exact himself onto games. I mean, when it comes to Real Madrid, you already have the best players that are playing in front of you, meaning that you get to have all the space that you need in order for you to operate. I mean, defenders are scared of Kylian Mbappe on the central part, and defenders are also scared of Vinicius. So you're already having only one player that is marking you at most times. And I don't know if people realize that Jude Bellingham wears the same number as Zinedine Zidane, a player that used to take the game by the scruff of the neck. I mean, Zinedine Zidane, if he was not performing well for Madrid, he was actually doing wonders for France. I mean, for people that don't know Zinedine Zidane, he used to dominate games and dominate midfields, and that is a player that people thought after the first season Jude Bellingham would actually become. Jude Bellingham has failed to grab games by the neck and enforce himself onto games, and recently Florentino Perez went into the dressing room of Real Madrid after their loss against Bayern Munich and told only Arda Güler that he is the only player that is allowed to leave the dressing room, and Florentino Perez had a furious, angry speech towards the players of Real Madrid. And I say that to say this, for a player that was bought for 100 million, a player that wears the same number as Zinedine Zidane, I won't say that he has been doing bad, but I will say he has been doing very average, because even at England International, Jude Bellingham is not seen as a player that is a first choice to win the game for England. He's seen as a role player at England level and even at Madrid. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Till next time, peace.